Hey everybody, RJ here. Before we get going into this episode of the Vassanoka Adventures, I just want to take a moment to apologize for this weird, electrical glitching that happens throughout the episode. You'll know what I mean when you hear it, and trust me, you'll hear it. So what happened was, during the recording of this episode, my chair actually was accidentally sitting on the power cord for our audio mixing board. And that started causing some connection issues that actually ended up eventually, by the end of the night, breaking the cord. So the audio as a whole still is definitely listenable. There's just going to be some points that it sounds kind of bad. And so I just want to apologize for that. It's something we ended up, obviously, like I said, the cord broke, so the issue got fixed. So just know that after this episode, it's back to normal and it sounds fine starting in the next episode. Apologies again, and please enjoy episode 12 of the Vassanoka Adventures. Previously, on Realms and Nerds, the Vassanoka Adventures.
The trees of the Lochmar Forest are some of the tallest in the region. Due to the amount of druidic involvement in the area, trees do grow quite fast here. There is a small village nearby, so you guys, I assume, are probably going to make your way that way. Essentially, the village is by the Builder's Road, so that's probably the way you're going to be headed.
Did you feel that? It's a magical blight on the forest.
In the middle of this room, there is this large pedestal. On the pedestal, hovering, is this black vine-like material that is just twisting and turning. Raven runs up, channeling the energy within her and the energy of all the trees that have been hurt and all the nature. She condenses it all into a giant orb of fire that she then is able to lower down onto the heart of the blight. And as the orb of fire finally rests at the bottom of where the heart was, all of a sudden there's a blinding light, and as they open their eyes, they find themselves in a beautiful meadow in the Murdoch region.
So we left Lochmar, we were going along the river, along Builder's Road, and then we went to the woods. We're not to that next town on the river, are we?
You have not even crossed over the river yet.
Okay.
Clear, I think, is where we were headed.
We
were just going along the Builder's Road, is all I know. But we'd have to dip off south.
We're about halfway across Murdoch at this point, I think. Maybe a little bit further.
I think so.
You are right next to Lochmar.
Right.
Oh shit, we've gone nowhere.
So, okay.
We've been on Lochmar since episode 3.
You have gone east from Lochmar. You have not yet reached where the Builder Road crosses over the Lochmar River.
Okay, alright. I got where we're at. Okay.
We're like...
It's very detailed now. I like it.
Lochmar. You're a very detailed man.
Yeah.
You're somewhere along where the road is with the river.
Mm-hmm. I like to be an open book, you know.
I'm gonna hurt you. I like you.
Oh, that was a weird experience. Don't want to do that again. Oh, hey. Well, would you look at this place? Kind of nice out here. What did you say there, Raven?
Raven's still out. Where is the tower?
You know, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, you see, the tower was completely made of darkness and malice. Upon killing the blight, I would assume its entire hold on this region was lost.
How do you know what the tower was made of? How much do you know, Sauna?
Well, to be honest, this isn't the first occurrence I've seen of darkness creeping into the Lochmar Forest.
Oh, when did you see this before?
Llew, bear me. Here you are. I have the worst hangover ever.
I don't think it's a hangover.
That's something.
It's, darkness in your lungs? I'm not really sure.
She downs her beer. Like, just one gulp.
That sounds like the beginning of a pretty metal song. Darkness in your lungs, the battle's just begun.
Are you a bard as well as a shapeshifter?
Who knows what he is?
I'm whatever I want to be, motherfucker.
Listen, this is a very pressing matter. I need to head back to Lockmar to alert the king, and from there I'm going to send a message to Westport. The entire region needs to be known. I have not seen the darkness take hold like this before.
Wonder if it has anything to do with what's going on out east.
That is the concern.
Well then, we must make haste.
You know, the entire reason the king sent us on the quest.
Well, obviously.
Stories of darkness in Vermont.
Well, I would recommend that the four of you head east from here to New Halir. You'll meet up with the high elves there and see what they know.
Alright, sounds like a plan then.
Sana, when you see my father, inquire if he has any information to give us. He told me before we left that he would be keeping his ears open for more information about the matter.
Well, I'm gonna only go as far as Lockmar. Send a message from there.
Very well, then. Hopefully he can find some other way to pass his information along if he comes by any.
I will send in the note that you're heading to New Halir. Perhaps he can send a raven to there.
Very well. Safe travels to you.
I'll see you all soon. And Sana turns around, turns into an eagle, and flies off.
Well then, boys, we must make haste. And lady.
Make haste to the nearest tavern, you mean?
What else would I mean?
You okay there, Ben?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just, business is normal.
Listen, Ben, it will be a short trip, but I would...
Aren't they always?
Listen, Ben, it's been a rough couple of days, and judging on how far out in the wilderness we are, if we don't make haste, we won't make it to a town by nightfall. And I would very much like to take a bath and wash the stench of whatever that dark cloud was off of me.
There's literally a river right over there. Wash away.
Well, what if I need help washing my back?
I'm sure Krohl will be more than happy to assist.
Sorry, I can only dunk. I can't wash.
No, it's goes, I guess.
Listen, I've already got my finger to my nose. Krohl doesn't seem to have a nose, seeing as he's dead, so I guess he automatically loses.
So, as a dragonborn, I've lost a good third of my face, apparently.
Alright, well then, Ben, if you don't want to make a move towards the nearest town with an inn, where would you like to go?
Well, we need to go to New Halir.
Are there no towns between here and New Halir?
Well, certainly there are.
Oh, for God's sake. Kroll jumps on Crystal and starts making his way back to the river.
I hope one of them has a bar.
Pretty sure they all have a bar.
I'm sure they likely all do. Ben mounts Winifred and starts continuing along the Builder's Road.
Raven turns into a deer and starts following.
So right now, you guys are a little ways into the forest. So from like where you are,
he walks Winifred to the path, gets on the horse, and continues on.
Maybe he's saying we have to find the road?
Fuck. Okay.
What I'm saying is that from where you are, to get back to the Builder's Road, you could either walk kind of like north to the Builder's Road or go south to the river and follow the river to where the Builder's Road meets at the river.
I mean, whichever one is going to
I'm just saying, so are
faster.
are you going back to the Builder's Road, or are you going to kind of cut through the wilderness and follow the river?
Probably cut through the wilderness to save time.
Raven, do you think that you would be able to guide us through the woods if we were to take the quick path as opposed to detouring back to the road?
I actually have another idea. And I can sacrifice one of my wild shapes to use Find Familiar, and basically you find something, an animal comes to you, here you go, you can read it.
He calls forth an ant.
I call forth a raven.
Oh, ironic, Tony.
To lead us through the forest, because it can see...
Gee, I wonder if it's the one that had the fucking red on it. That we still never figured out what the fuck it was about.
So Raven is going to turn and look out at the field and focus her energy for a second. And running through the underbrush is a small black squirrel that pops its head up and looks right at Raven, kind of just standing on its back legs.
Hey, you think you could lead us through the forest? We're trying to find the Builder's Road.
It kind of gives like a little head nod and like turns around and kind of just like stops as you're not moving yet.
Here we go, boys.
Listen, one of my friends is a fairy dragon, and that kind of tops that on a weird factor. Alright, whatever.
It's a Firbolg thing. It's a Firbolg thing. I promise. You can trust him.
I don't doubt it. I'm trusting him. I'm literally about to follow this squirrel. I'm just saying it's bizarre, even by my standards.
Ben, you literally turn into other people. I don't think you're one to talk. And then Lew's gonna ride on.
Krohl is a following.
We're going after that squirrel.
Alright. So, Llew mounts Preston, and Krohl had already gone on top of Crystal, and then as Ben walks over to Winifred, he sees that Silver's just sitting right on kind of like the head of Winifred. Hey man, how's it going? That was some pretty scary darkness, dude.
Just another day in the life of Ben.
You live an interesting life, man. I've just been like flying around this forest, dude.
Stick with me, kid. You'll go places.
Well, let's go places, man.
Rightio. And he gets up on Winifred.
So, as Raven, are you going to change form? Or are you going to stay?
I'm gonna change form.
I'm just gonna
turn
run
into a stag.
Alright, so,
Just went up. I'm not as fast as horses are.
Raven uses her wild shape and turns into a stag and leads the pack, following this squirrel, who leads the party off to the right, out of the clearing into the woods. And you guys are going through some pretty heavy woods, but this squirrel is picking a nice little path for you guys. So after about 30 minutes, you guys find your way into a more open part of the forest, and soon you are on the shoreline of the Lochmar River. And once you get to the water, the squirrel kind of turns and looks back at Raven, wondering if it should keep going or if it should go on its own way.
Raven changes back for a quick second and gives it a pat on the head and says, "You're good. Thank you very much, little friend."
And it runs back towards the forest, and before it gets there, it seems like it just disappears.
I told you it was fucking weird, but that's kind of cool as well.
Here's the river. Time to head northeast. And Krohl turns northeast on Crystal and starts heading along the river.
Once the party finds its way to the Lochmar River, you start making your way, following the riverbank, and after about an hour, you guys come upon a small group of water sprites in the water just playing, and as you approach, they all stop and look at you.
Krohl waves at them. Hello there!
What size are the sprites?
They are considered a medium size.
So
Okay,
about
so-
our size.
Yeah. Are they just staring at us, or are they just making any, motion, talking amongst each other, or do they look threatening in any way, shape, or form, or do I need to do, an insight check here?
Maybe do an insight perception check. Or, I guess insight.
Should imagine.
Either one's wisdom, so let's go insight.
Dice out from the wrong big friend.
That's a 13, not amazing.
With a 13, Krohl really knows nothing about water sprites, and so upon seeing them, he's more curious than anything. He has heard tales of water sprites and sirens before, but really has never encountered them and doesn't know anything other than the myth and legend.
Can I do an insight check? Ooh, let's say 23.
With a 23, Raven is quite familiar with the sprites, and in fact, she is actually familiar with this group of sprites, seeing as they fall within her region of influence.
She knows that the water sprites are tied to this Lochmar River, and they cannot exist outside of this region. Or even more so, Raven knows that they are only able to walk out of the river a very small ways. They're tied physically to the river.
Do I know what language they speak?
They do know how to speak Common.
Okay.
I dare you fuckers to come over here. Let you out, pussies.
And as the group continues approaching, the sirens, actually you see one in the front of the group, her eyes kind of light up, and she rushes towards the bank, approaching Raven.
Raven, it is so nice to see you in our region.
It's nice to see you guys too. It's always nice to see a friendly face around here.
And who are these young men you've brought with you?
Hold on. You leave them alone. Alright? Except for the human. You can probably take him. He's a bit of a butthead.
You would offer him as a gift to us?
No. I was kidding. I promise I was kidding.
Well, perhaps since you are here, you can help us.
Krohl actually climbs down from Crystal and walks over. Hello there!
No.
Krohl? Well, I'm just being friendly.
They'll eat your soul.
I'm sorry, what?
They'll eat your soul. You need to back off.
I'm dead. I ain't got a soul.
As Kroll gets off of Crystal, two other water sprites kind of make their way towards the bank.
Okay. Kroll sees these two approaching, and he gets vibes of, like, not trusting him, and his blood begins to boil a little. Can we trust these, water sprites?
Bud, I promise, you can trust them, alright? They're fine. They're good, alright? Yeah, I know.
I don't know, I'm getting your creepy vibe.
Your senses are correct, and they are a little dangerous, but I promise that if we just keep our distance and are nice, they won't hurt us, alright?
Let me know if you need help, because getting bad vibes.
Kroll, your help is very much appreciated.
Kroll backs away, but his blood's already boiling. Now he wants to hit something really hard.
Go ahead, treat.
Llew is gonna ride up next to Kroll and sort of just reach down and like put his hand onto his shoulder and say to him like fairly quietly, right? Like, so not like projecting, right? Just go, easy, Kroll. Let's start this one off with diplomacy. If swords need to swing, then I'll give you the word.
Alright. I'm gonna stand right over there. If your negotiations fail, I'll be coming right after you.
Absolutely. Keep your sword at the ready. I will signal you if we are needed.
Kroll walks back over to Crystal and takes the sword out and just starts, playing with the edge a little bit, leaning against the horse, trying to look tough and everything.
When Kroll pulls his sword, this entire group of sprites all swim their way over to this one that has been speaking to Raven.
So what can I do you ladies for?
Wait, what could you do them for? What could you do them for? Alright.
Well, you see, just up the river, it seems as though they're starting to build a dam. As you can imagine, this dam blocks the water flow, our energy, our lifeline, and it makes so that, well, we cannot fathom why they would be building this dam. It is a shipping route that they benefit from. We would rather not have to do anything unsightly. But our hands are tied. Perhaps you, who care for this region, should try to handle this before we do.
I hope it doesn't lead to any bloodshed, but I'll see what I can do.
The odds are not in your favor, but especially not with Kroll.
Ladies, if I may interject, can you give us any information about the men or creatures that have built this dam?
And who might you be, young man?
Oh, I am so sorry. Where are my manners? My name is Llew Westaryn. I am the Crown Prince of Farland. It is very pleasurable to make your acquaintance.
And yours as well. It's not the first prince we've met in our waters. It appears that it is the collection of human and half Goliaths that live at Vatak, the city that sits on the Builder's Road. Perhaps it is some sort of fishing ladder or something for their own mechanical gains.
Well, we still travel through the land of my uncle at this point, and so I feel that it is my duty to try and resolve this problem for you. We shall see what we can do with these half-Goliaths.
We would appreciate not having to do anything that goes against our nature.
Let Krohl do it. He don't care.
Indeed. As I said, we shall see what we can do.
We'll go now. I hope to see you at my water's edge again.
Very well. Good day to you.
And this whole collection of sprites all sink into the water and go back to their where they were sitting. It's a small collection of kind of rocks that sit in the middle of the river, and they just sink into the water and pop back up over there and continue talking among themselves.
Ben, for one, is going to just turn Winifred towards... What was the name of the town?
Vatak?
Vatak. Towards the direction of Vatak and starts trotting away towards there.
Okay. The other three members of the party?
Krohl...
Rabble.
Yeah, Krohl's standing back, so he didn't really hear the conversation, I guess, too well. But he's slowly losing his self-control, because I must remind the group that as a Death Knight, his aspect is a blood Death Knight, so every so often he does need to kill something. And right now he's leaning more towards killing than control of himself.
So, Vatak, is that off to...
It is,
the south? I can't tell
it's
on
not
this map.
marked on the map. I mean, like, it's the city that sits on the river as the Builder Road crosses.
On the Lockmore River.
The only
Okay.
cities that we can read for certain are in capitals. All the rest are just intentionally vague.
Well, they're there.
It's just, yeah. Okay.
That's the quality of which the PDF is.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, Krohl, it would appear that there are some half-Goliaths that need to be straightened out.
Just point me the way, and I'll deal with them for you.
Now listen, I think the best way to handle this would be forceful negotiation, you could say.
Excellent.
We are going to ask them first. I need you to keep control of yourself.
Fine. No promises.
However, they are half Goliaths, and again, if they decide to start a fight, I would like you to have your sword handy.
Very well.
When we get into town, I'll find you a chicken to kill. Alright?
Chicken!
No, don't.
Chicken!
Hold on.
Krohl takes a big swing at the nearest tree.
Don't say the C word around him.
What?
As Kroll's sword makes contact with this tree, Silver, sitting on the head of Winifred, lets out a little...
Ben just looks down at Silver. Stop being an instigator.
What?
Krohl just proceeds to chop the shit out of this tree.
That's fine. We're out of harm's way anyway.
I want to kill something.
I would just like to note, Raven, you take personal offense to a tree being chopped down in your forest.
I look at him and I know that he can't really control himself right now, so I walk over to the tree and I cast Mend on it.
You're gonna let it slide for now.
I know you can't control
it
yourself.
so you can break it down again.
She did also instigate it.
True.
So as Kroll whips at this tree, in a few slices he's able to take it down, and Raven simply puts her head down and walks over to the tree, and as she walks by it, puts a hand on the tree, and immediately you can see it start the process of regrowing.
Kroll just walks over to Crystal and gets on and is ready to go kill what'd you say, a half-ogre?
Half Goliath.
Half Goliath. A worthy challenge indeed.
Oh, battle will be legendary.
Alright. So I guess we're heading into town then.
All right. You guys had left the meadow around sun's highest time in the sky, and at this point, upon leaving these water sprites, it is, about 2 o'clock or so, and you make your way towards Vatok. Getting into town near sundown is probably 6, 7 o'clock. As you approach the town, very similar to Lochmar, that is just the city that is built on and around the river. The city of Vatok it's kind of like a floating city in the sense that they have built stilts across the river. And you can see as you approach, right in front of the town, they are starting to build some sort of water break, and you can see a structure being built as well, looking like some sort of mill.
Just as I thought. People living with the land making the best use of the natural resources.
Tell that to those sprites back there.
I'm not sure they would necessarily listen to that reasoning, hence why I decided not to say anything earlier.
You do realize that if their water's gone, they're gone, right?
The water's not going anywhere. I'm sure they're damming it, but not completely. Usually dams have space for water flow to continue, just less.
I don't like your funny words, Magic Man.
That would depend on the type of dam.
I surmise that you may be correct there.
Krohl's just trying to contain himself right now, so...
Here we go. Damn this damn talk. I'm gonna try my damnedest.
Oh my god. As bad as he is.
You're at 3, keep going.
To de-damn this damn dam.
There you go. Winner, chicken dinner.
You say damn one more time, I'm gonna throw you in the river!
Well, damn.
Oh my god, Krohl jumps off of Crystal and runs at Ben, because Ben said it first, and is going to attempt to throw him in the river.
As Krohl is jumping off Crystal, knowing full well what he just did, Ben is having Winifred start, going. Gotcha. At a pace that can outpace Krohl running.
Ah! Krohl just stomps back over to Crystal and gets back on. Spiny, stupid half-Goliath.
Ben is now trotting in circles around Krohl and Crystal.
I'm gonna cast a fucking spell on you.
Yes, we just not. No. It's already 5:30 and we've done nothing.
We can't.
Yes, we really should be getting to talking to these half-Goliaths, find out their reasoning, which I am guessing is a fairly sound reason for building this dam.
Well, the dam itself isn't necessarily the issue, but we need them to build it in such a way that it does not dramatically reduce the water flow. Otherwise, there could be at least a skirmish with these sprites, if not an all-out war.
Oh, it's not going to be good. I'll tell you that, Princey. It's not going to be good.
Well, who knows? These half-Goliaths and humans may be reasonable. I got the vibe that those sprites certainly wouldn't be reasonable, hence why I decided to wait to talk to the fine people here. And then Ben stops circling around Krohl and starts heading towards what he assumes is probably the central government location for this.
Well, you said
Raven runs alongside him and stops him, and he says, You do know that they've been here longer, right? They've been here a lot longer than any of you have been here.
Cool. I don't. And he turns back and looks at Krohl. Give a damn. And then he continues heading into town.
So you said it's evening, right?
Yeah, the sun is on the horizon at this point.
Then hold just a moment.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Listen, it's late in the evening. I doubt anyone wants to conduct business right now. Why don't we get a hot meal, take a bath, and we can come at this well-rested tomorrow morning?
Certainly, Your Majesty. And he turns the horse and heads towards the tavern.
Everyone else in agreement?
Well, seeing as I don't sleep, You do what you want. I'm gonna walk it off, as they might say. And while they go to find a tavern to sleep, Kroll's actually gonna wander to the town in his bloodlust.
So the whole party is making their way towards the talk now?
I thought we were in Vassanoka.
No.
We were like on the
You guys were
outskirts of
out,
us.
like you guys could see the city coming up the river.
Oh.
You have
Yeah.
not yet.
So we're gonna go into the city.
Yeah.
We're gonna find an inn. Kroll wants to walk it off, I guess.
He doesn't sleep, he may as well.
So as they approach, there is a gatekeeper at the city gates. The Lochmar River is quite a wide river. The city almost starts at the riverbed. So as you guys are approaching, it's like the front gate almost. The front gate, and then you're onto like the boardwalk town.
Gotcha.
So as you approach the city gate, the gatekeeper walks out of his little side house and says, "What brings you into Vatak today?"
Good evening, gatekeeper. We are but travelers heading east on business, and we need somewhere to sleep for the night.
Got quite the entourage coming with you. Don't see a dragon every day, and, well, don't see a stag walking with humans very often either.
That's just our pet.
Just fucking glares at him.
Yeah, very well. What do I care? I'd recommend you head down to the Slippery Fish Stop. Best tavern in town.
And will they have lodging there as well?
Oh, of course.
Well, thank you, good sir. I appreciate your kind recommendation. And Lou's gonna toss him 2 gold pieces.
Thank you for your kindness, sir. He steps aside and walks back into his little house.
All right, so we're gonna go on
To the slippery fish.
to the slippery fish, I guess. Yeah, follow his recommendation.
As you guys enter the town, you can see. Actually, let's get some perception checks.
What do you see? Not much.
Not much, I got a 10.
Nature and stuff.
I got a 7.
Oh, God.
Look up there.
Kroll is literally
You
blinded
see
by his
Nature
bloodlust.
stuff like a bird. Rough. The gray noise. Perception?
Yep.
18.
17.
As you guys walk into town, both Kroll and Llew are kind of in awe at the fact that this town is just all on stilts and are more caught up in the fact that, you know, they're walking across the river right now and there's so much hustle and bustle still going on. Raven and Ben both are able to note from Raven being in the area before and Ben just being quite keen in his new environment. They see that it's not an extremely wealthy town. You know, everything is made of wood. It seems like everything is pretty well kept, or has to be well kept because of the weathering from being on the river. But it seems like a lot of just basic craftsmen. You see a lot of fish vendors as you're going down the street. And altogether, you know, just not an extremely prosperous town. But, you know, they're doing fine. As you make your way through the town, across the river, about 10 minutes of walking, you find your way to a pretty busy 2-story building. Out front, there are a few tables, and people are playing some card games and drinking. Above the double doors, there's a sign that reads, "The Slippery Fish Stop."
What card games are they playing?
They're playing some blackjack.
Okay. I'm gonna do a history check. That's just a 10. I don't think Ben really remembers the rules of the game that well. So he just kind of sighs and then walks on by.
Is everyone going to walk into the bar, to the tavern?
Yeah, I guess.
Did Raven turn back
I
into a
was gonna say,
person?
Raven, are you gonna stay?
Well, we gotta-
He's like fucking
No, we gotta-
dollars and pushes the door open.
We gotta,
Fuck you,
we gotta-
buddy.
we gotta tie Raven up to one of the horse posts.
She fucking wrestles Kroll. I'll beat your fucking ass. I'll beat your fucking ass.
Okay.
No, Raven turns back.
All right.
Are you tired of watching the same old awesome movies? Are B movies more your style? Then the folks over at They Call This a Movie have you covered. Join us every Thursday as we review the worst of the worst in sci-fi, action, comedy, and more. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Podbean at theycalledthisamovie.podbean.com. They Called This a Movie, testing the strength of friendships, one terrible movie at a time.
Howdy there, and thank you so much for listening to episode 12 of the Vassanoka Adventures. First off, if you have a product or business or service that you would like to have advertised on the podcast, you can get a hold of us at realmsandnerds@gmail.com. Don't forget that you can follow us on social media. We're on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I think we have a TikTok account that we might start actually using here in the future. If you know of anybody that you think might also be interested in listening to our podcast, please feel free to share the show with them. It is by far the best way to help grow our listening audience. And there is a link in the episode description that will give you kind of it's not Linktree, but it's something like Linktree where they'll have options to choose from their favorite podcast site or app to use to listen to the show. Don't forget to check out the podcasts featured at the beginning and end of this commercial break. Thank you, as always, to our friend Kyle for composing the show's main theme, and thank you as well to Justin from the Lit Gaming Arena podcast for his arrangement of the tune, which is used as this campaign's theme. And of course, thank you all again for listening. We really appreciate you all so much. Take care. I'll talk to you all again when episode 32 of the Return of Ornon campaign comes out. Now let's get back into the rest of episode 12 of the Vassanoka Adventures.
Hey, Andrew.
Hey, Maddie.
Do you like horror movies?
I sure do.
Well, did you know that most horror movies are inspired by real-life horror?
Really? Like what?
Well, take The Shining, for instance. That's based on Stephen King's real-life addictions, or The Purge, which could be our country any minute now.
Oh, and The Strangers, which is based on a real-life murder. People should be talking about these things.
Hey, guys.
Oh, hey, Producer Michael.
Hi.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but somebody already is. It's you.
That's right. We are FriGay the 13th, the podcast where we talk about horror in real life and horror in media, all from an LGBTQ perspective.
Because we gay, y'all.
We are proud members of the Legion Podcast Network, and we can be found on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found.
And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Come along with us on this crazy journey, and as always,
get slayed.
As they push through the doors, they find themselves in a room that is hustling and bustling with activity. There's a small stage at the back of the room with a band playing. There's 3 bartenders all working the bar, one acting as a server to all of the seating area. And then at the back of the room, off to the side from where the stage is, you see what would look kind of like a front desk. And behind there is a human woman who is nose down in the books, but also seems to be in good spirits and is kind of bopping her head to the tune.
Good evening, madam. We will need some rooms for tonight.
And how many do you have in your party tonight?
There are 4 of us.
Well, looks like the best I can do here is give you 2 rooms tonight.
That's okay. I can just walk to town. Like I said, I don't need to sleep anyway. So
I'll bum it outside.
give me some food. Just give me some food. And I'll just head on my way. You know.
Well, sir, the bar can take an order for your food. And do you need any lodging for steeds tonight?
Yes, indeed. We have 3.
Very well. She reaches under her desk and does some hustling and rearranging of stuff, grabbing out 2 room keys and then this kind of piece of wood that it has a number carved into it, and hands both the keys and this number card across to Llew and says, "These are your room keys, and this, if you just bring it across to the side at the stable with your horses, and we'll take care of you there. And that's going to be 50 gold pieces for tonight."
Alright then. And here you are.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Now, if you need anything, my name's Sashi, and I will be right here all night.
Thank you, Sashi.
Krohl goes to order some food.
Ben gets the card from Llew and goes to take care of the horses.
Ben, would you like me to order some food for you while you're out there?
Certainly, you know what I like.
Alright, so go up to the bar.
Behind the bar, like I said, there are two bartenders who stay behind the bar, and then a third one who seems to be busy running from the kitchen and the bar and serving. Behind the bar, as Llew approaches, there is a full Goliath man that is behind the bar.
Oh, what could I do for you tonight? Good evening. We'll need 4 ales, and what's on the menu tonight?
Well, we've got chicken, we've got mutton.
Chicken!
Hey now, I don't want to throw you out. You better calm down.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. He just has a thing about the
the
feathered
birds.
The C
birds.
word. He has a thing about the C words.
Cats?
I take a whole chicken. Don't care if you're cooking or not.
All right. Got a full order of chicken, and for you, sir.
I will do an order of the mutton and one of the chicken.
Half or whole.
I think Ben will want a whole just for taunting purposes.
All right. And anything for you, lass?
She keeps looking at Krohl. The one that starts with the C.
All right, bird for you too. Whole thing?
Yeah.
All right. And you guys want the fixins?
Of course.
Yes.
All right. Well, why don't y'all sit down at that booth over there, and I'll have the waitress bring you your food in no time. And he quickly, as he's been talking, has been filling up the glasses, and here's your grog for tonight.
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Alright, we're sitting down.
Awesome.
Ben I'm assuming there's no thing that goes on out there, so let's come back.
Yeah, Ben walks out, taking the number card. He takes the 3 horses around the side of the building, and there's a stable boy there who takes the card and takes the horses, puts them into the stable, and comes back with a piece of paper that just says, "Hey, we have your horses. Here they are." You know.
Thank you very much. And then Ben goes back into the inn.
All right. As he walks in, he sees the group sitting at the booth on the side, and makes his way over to them.
Actually, it's first. Okay, yeah, that's fair. Llew, did you order my drink?
Yes, I did.
Good. And then he sits down.
Llew hands him the glass.
What's in the glass?
Grog. No, they're just beer.
Oh.
I said 4 ales.
Yeah.
He gave you grog.
The best they got in this here town.
Ben looks down into it. Llew, you know I don't drink.
I don't know if they have much of anything else. I ordered ale and we got grog, so this might just be all of it. I mean, I suppose you could go up there and ask if they have a water or something, but...
No, it's fine. I'll just
go dunk your head in the river, you'll be fine.
This town does not have the same commodities that we are accustomed to back home.
I am aware. I noticed it on the way in.
We sit there and awkwardly sip our grog in silence until the food comes.
Ben is not drinking his grog. He's just...
And Ben's just awkwardly sitting there.
Maybe they could give you a cranberry juice, Ben.
Listen, it's fine. The grog is fine.
After a few minutes of sitting in silence and drinking, another human female comes walking up to the table holding a tray that looks like it has half the order on it. And you're able to tell that this young lady looks like she's probably related to Sashi.
Sure.
And here you go. I have 2 chickens for whoever wants them.
Krohl grabs a chicken and just bites straight into it.
Oh, I guess someone hasn't had food in a while. And this one?
That would be for my friend over here. And he gestures to Ben.
Great, I'll be right back with the rest of your order.
Thank you, Llew. You know just what I like.
Okay, Krohl is sated by the thought of killing another chicken in this world.
Ben digs into the chicken.
Oh, that hits the spot. Sorry about that earlier there, Raven. I lost my cool.
Things fall. It's okay. I know it wasn't your fault. It'll grow back in
Rather rustic in
10
these
years.
Rather rustic in these here parts.
Yes, I'm quite enjoying it. It's been quite the adventure, don't you think?
And here's mutton.
Yes, thank you.
And another plate of chicken for you. Anything else I could get you guys tonight?
Do you have any water? Or is it just grog?
Well, I could get you some water. It goes for almost a higher price than grog around here.
Perhaps a cranberry juice.
What's cranberries?
What, are there no cranberries in this world?
We got winter berries, apparently, at some point.
Ain't that well off. They probably don't have luxuries like cranberries.
I love how water, which we're literally sitting on top of, is more expensive than the grog.
We gotta
It has to be filtered.
Doesn't mean it's potable water.
Well, we have some apple juice if you'd like that.
You know what? I think I'd rather have some apple juice.
Very good. I'll bring you a glass of apple juice. Anyone else?
It's Ben.
Ben?
Yes, I suppose I shall have an apple juice. I apologize for the inconvenience, ma'am.
Oh, no inconvenience at all. We appreciate the business. 2 apple juices. I'll be right back.
Well, seeing as you're not going to drink that...
Hold on. Why don't we, go halfsies on this one, and then we'll order another round when she comes back.
Okay.
Llew takes it and pours half into his glass, and then gives her the other half.
And she pours it into her glass.
Between bites of chicken, Ben looks at Llew. Your Majesty, I'm surprised. Pardon my manners, Your Majesty, I'm surprised you didn't order chicken for yourself. You do. I know you love chicken, a lot.
I do love chicken, but it just... This rustic setting, I just felt like mutton seemed more appropriate.
Alright, and then he continues eating the chicken.
The waitress comes back in a few moments with the 2 glasses of apple juice. And here you guys go.
Oh, thank you, my dear.
Thank you very much.
By the way there, Missy, you don't happen to know why that dam's being built, would you? Seems rather new.
Oh, you mean the new mill they're putting in?
A mill, you're saying? Think about bringing some business to the town, eh?
Yes, the city council has been in a tizzy about bringing in new income.
I can't say I blame you. It's always good to bring in more people, more workers.
Indeed, it's had me and my mom at wit's end, it would seem. We're severely understaffed.
Bring more business for you if you bring in more people, too.
Well, that's what they're thinking, at least, yes.
It seems like a solid enough plan to me. And he looks at Llew.
We thank you for your information. Could you bring us 2 more grogs whenever you get the chance?
Of course, and, should I put this on your tab, or will you guys be paying tonight?
Put it on the tab for now. I will, settle up at the end of the night. Or
Very well.
Tomorrow morning if I end up falling asleep before I remember.
Send the bill to my father.
He has money. I mean, he's sleeping there, so it's not like he's going anywhere.
Very well, we appreciate the patronage.
I shall keep a tab open. I might like another apple juice or chicken later.
I thought Llew was paying for everybody.
That's what.
Apparently Ben has some pride.
Ben has some money.
Yeah, Raven has over 1,000 gold coins.
That's true.
Why, actually? I'm not surprised.
Raven and Krohl are the freeloaders.
Raven doesn't have...
Yeah.
Raven's society. Raven's a hippie, and her society doesn't value money.
Raven missed out on a zombie minigame.
Raven, we live in a society. I don't know, how much... Does Krohl have any money?
I got,
he got
1,717.
Okay.
We live in a society,
He's richer than Ben by 7 gold coins.
So I don't know why Lou's still taking care of everything.
I don't know.
Because you can go to an ATM and just take your dad's money out.
I got the king credit card. You got the...
Pull the lever, gold just
card.
falls through.
Yeah, then it's until you get far enough from Farland that no one's going to take the IOU.
Yeah, that's exactly. Kroll's just saving up for when we get to the wild.
It's probably going to be once we get into Holier.
I mean,
knowing our luck, probably.
It just depends on who's allied with who and who has commerce with who. Because, I mean, Farland is a major, because they're on the coast, they're a major trading, center.
Yeah, but so's Holier.
Right.
Holier's got a whole ass bay there.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just saying, Farland generally has good relations with a lot of people just because of trading concerns.
Oh, yes.
Right. And I'm not pulling that out of my ass. We talked about that before.
And I'm saying is, so far you've only been in regions that have been on the ocean.
I can't.
Well, we're in Murdoch. Murdoch
Murdoc's only unlocked, but it's got that
The river Farland.
Right. Yeah.
Inlets from the ocean somehow.
I mean, the river, I guess, but
that's what I'm saying. It inlets from the ocean somehow.
Anyways,
it's semantics.
Doesn't matter. This is all future talk.
All right. So, you all eat your meals and drink up. Is there anything that you guys were wanting to do tonight?
Ben is basically gonna eat some more chicken. While he's doing that, I'm gonna try again. Yeah, he's not. He works on seeing if he can remember the games of blackjack so he can get in on the game, but he's just too preoccupied with what they're working on and does not. I roll the hot 3 on my second history check, so it did worse, so he's definitely not getting in on blackjack tonight.
Alright, so Raven finishes eating and drinking, and she sneaks out the front door, turns into a rat, and goes into the stables. And she goes up to Winifred's stable, and Winifred's pen, and she asks, "Do you mind if I sleep in the hay with you tonight?" She crawls into a pile of straw, and she sleeps with Winifred tonight.
Pretty cozy place.
Mm-hmm.
Do I see any half Goliaths
yeah.
in here?
I mean, so the population of this town seems to be a lot of humans and a lot of half Goliaths. You see, there's a full Goliath around. So you would kind of assume that this place was probably established by humans and Goliaths, and over time have, been cohabitating.
Oh, they've been cohabitating.
Snoop, snoop.
All right. Are any of them at the bar?
Yes.
Okay. Llew would like to walk up to the bar and sit down next to one of these half Goliaths. Good evening, sir. My name is Llew, and you are?
Huh? Oh. They call me Darren.
A pleasure to make your acquaintance, Darren. Can I buy you a grog?
I mean, I won't say no.
Excuse me, bartender, 2 grogs, please.
Very well.
Now, Darren, I was wondering if you could give me, the name of the person who's in charge of this new dam project that's going in.
New dam project? Well, I guess that would be Harmy up at the city hall. Kind of all the planning and business of the town goes through him.
Interesting. And he's done well for the city?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I make most of my income off the fish that come up the river, but seems like all the merchants in town have appreciated him being around.
Well, aren't you concerned about the dam then, and what that could do to your business?
Well, Harmy promises that it won't affect the fish, and they'll still be able to move through the river, perhaps even make it easier for us to catch them.
Interesting. Perhaps, he should have consulted someone like you before making that decision.
Well, those big wigs always big ideas, and, well, the people are always a second thought.
That is very unfortunate. I don't like to hear of things like that happening. The people should always be taken care of before anyone else.
Well, tell that to them up at City Hall.
That is, perhaps what I will be doing tomorrow morning. Anyways, I thank you for the information. Enjoy your grog and have a good night.
Well, thank you. Have a good one.
So are you guys still at the table?
I am currently.
Okay.
Llew is, as far as I know, basically just orders another chicken and another apple juice. Ben is, yeah.
Can Krohl do a perception check of the room to see if anyone's being shady or if everyone's just being, like, local chill?
Sure.
That's a 10.
With a 10, as Krohl scans across this room, he can tell that it seems like most of the people in this room are locals and they know each other. You know, a lot of people getting up from one table and walking over to another. The band is playing and they seem well received by everyone, and they have a good groove going and it seems like they know each other themselves. Realistically, it just seems like a hustling, bustling tavern.
Krohl's liking the vibes.
Alright, so Llew returns to the booth.
Hey, find out anything over there? They're friendly?
Indeed I did. I spoke with a man named Daryl, who's a fisherman, and apparently the locals at the city hall did not consult the people before this dam project. It seems that perhaps they took it upon themselves without taking into consideration what it might do to the town.
Well, what might it do to the town?
Well, for one thing, it could potentially affect the fishermen, which it seems many people make their income from.
Wouldn't it make it easier because the fish would have a little bit of a harder time getting through, meaning they're stuck in an area where they're fishing for longer, meaning better chances to catch them?
Perhaps, but Ben, I understand that you spent some time at sea in a past life.
I don't know what you mean by a past life, but sure.
Well, you have your pirate persona.
You mean, and he shifts into Gwendolyn and shifts back into Ben.
Please don't do that again.
Indeed.
Yes.
So you know that the movement of fish is very important to their life cycle. Perhaps a dam could interfere with that.
This next song.
It could, but the fish would still get through, just at a slightly slower rate.
Well, it depends on what kind of dam they build.
Well, certainly. Perhaps we could help them figure out the best way to create a dam that's beneficial for both sides.
Indeed, Ben, that is precisely what I am suggesting. I am not against a mill. I'm not against this town improving itself. I merely am proposing that there is a solution for both sides here. There are many ways to build dams that will power the mill and not affect the flow of the river. It just seems like maybe they're not going about this the right way.
I can't but agree with you, Llew. Well, on that note, boys, since we're not doing anything tonight, I'm gonna go hit the town. See ya. And Krohl walks out and starts walking around town.
Oh yeah, I was gonna roll to see if Ben, gonna do an insight check to see if Ben realizes the underhanded kind of side of Lew's, or having ordered him chicken. No, he doesn't. He just knows that Llew knows what he likes and ordered for him.
Ben, before we go in for this meeting tomorrow morning, I just would like to ask you, it seems that you are maybe more in favor of this dam?
Well, I don't see anything wrong with having a dam, as long as it's made right.
Right, I don't have a problem with it either. It seems like you are uneasy about this whole thing.
What's to be uneasy about? They should build the dam if it helps them progress the city. As long as it doesn't interfere and kill off those water sprites to keep them alive and keep Raven happy. Because we must care for both the ecological side as well as the growth of the town.
Well, then we are on the same page then.
As far as I know.
It just seemed that you were troubled somewhat by our discussions about the dam.
I was only troubled with the thought that you were going to tell them to stop building the dam and kill them if they did not agree. I was also troubled by what the water sprites may do depending on how the dam is dealt with.
I am troubled by what the water sprites may do as well, which is why we are here in the first place. As far as killing them if they don't comply, I'm a prince, I'm not a murderer.
No, but you have Krohl.
Yes, of course. My comments to Krohl were, listen, you and I both know that Goliaths, half or full, can sometimes have very short tempers. And if I come in and tell them that they're doing things the wrong way, they may be liable to get angry about that. All I was telling Krohl is that he should be ready for violence, not that we are going to start violence.
Well, I probably would have waited until after Krohl had been satiated of his bloodthirst. But now it doesn't matter because he is thinking clearer.
Indeed. So we shall go in the morning and try to make this argument at City Hall that things should be changed.
Yes, my prince. And at that, Ben gets up from the table and goes to pay his tab and go to bed.
So, as Ben gets up and walks towards the bar, the bartender actually directs him back to the front counter.
Oh, thank you. And he goes back to the front counter.
All done for tonight?
Yes, I'm ready to turn in for the night.
Very good. Looks like it's going to be 22 for tonight's drink and food.
It seems fine enough to me. And he gives her 22 and then pauses for a moment. You guys run a very good business here. And he puts an additional 5 gold pieces up.
Well, thank you for your kindness tonight. Have a good night.
You as well, thank you. And he goes off to bed.
Yeah, Blue's gonna stick around the bar for a little bit longer, but not too much longer, and then he's gonna turn in as well. At this point, he's now turned on the sort of diplomat side of his brain, and so he knows that he's actually gonna have to put on a good showing tomorrow, so he figures he probably should get in bed at a semi-reasonable hour.
Gotcha. So Llew is also going to head upstairs to bed?
Yeah, he's going to go settle his tab as well.
And, are you going to be paying for your 2 friends tonight as well?
Yes, it would appear so.
Very good. It's going to be 60 for you tonight.
Very well. He's going to give her 70.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, have a good night.
You as well. I hope you enjoy your stay with us.
Oh, I'm sure I will. Thank you.
Alright, so, Llew also heads upstairs and finds the room that correlates with the room key and opens it up and finds a room with 2, twin beds in it, picking one of them and laying down. Krohl, is there anything that you wanted to do as you walked around the town?
Well, ever since the darkness thing they had to deal with, he's a little on edge about what's going on in the world now, thinking that maybe the forces of Tiamat are out after him or something, or the chickens are misbehaving. I don't know. He's going around town. He's gonna do a once over, see if there's anything out of sorts that he might have to deal with in the morning or something.
Alright, let's get a investigation check.
Investigation. That's a 16.
So as Krohl walks around the town, he first makes his way kind of down the main strip, and at this point, all the shop fronts have kind of closed up. He sees a couple of second-story windows illuminated by candlelight, but it seems like everyone's turned in. There's a couple of people chatting or talking kind of before heading to bed, but it seems like the town is dying down. He notices that as far as, crime is in this town, it seems, as he noted inside the tavern, it seems like everyone is quite friendly with each other, and it's somewhat of a close-knit community. So he doesn't really notice anything, no night crime, doesn't really notice anyone acting suspicious. As he makes his way to the edge of the main strip and makes his way kind of off to the side of the town, he's able to get a closer look at what's being constructed. He can see that the type of dam they've chosen to go for is channeling all of the water to one smaller area. They haven't quite put up all the water breaks, but he can tell that it's all being channeled to one kind of port, and then they're starting to construct a water wheel on the mill. And at this point, everything's kind of just like framework. Haven't really fleshed out the building yet.
Right.
Other than that, as he makes his way back towards the tavern, looking off into the water, you can see there is a small group of water sprites that are kind of sitting in the water a ways down the river.
Alright. He makes a mental note that they're there and starts heading his way back into town. Actually, he's gonna go find Raven real quick.
Alright.
How? Raven's a rat.
Does he know this?
No.
Exactly.
So you're going to go attempt to find Raven?
He's gonna...
Where's Krohl gonna look for Raven?
He's gonna look around the tavern. He doesn't think she'd wander far, because that's where the whole party is. And if he doesn't find her there, he'll look in the stalls with the horses, see if maybe she went to look on the horses or whatever.
Well, let's roll one investigation check.
The whole party might be a good name for our party.
Krohl is unable to see anything around the tavern, and as he walks into the stables, he notices, Crystal, Winifred, and Preston all laying down in the hay, pretty close to each other, and doesn't see any other figures in the stall.
Wonder where Raven got off to. Oh well, he's gonna...
Did I do a perception check to see if I hear him talking?
You're asleep.
Oh, I am asleep.
Yeah, you're out.
I'm asleep.
So he's just gonna spend the rest of the night in the stable, working on his rune magic and making sure that everything's
Are you going to take a long rest?
Yes.
Raven's in the stall, like...
Yes, we are.
So you're also staying in the stable? Okay. So Krohl kind of makes his way into the stable, and not seeing anyone else in there, decides it might be a nice quiet place to sit down. So he sits down in the corner and just sits there all night, working, sharpening his sword. And
oh my gosh. I thought you were going to do a fun little bit where he decides to flop down on the hay in Winifred's stall.
Well, all three of the horses are just in one big stall.
Flops down.
Right on Raven.
Underneath you just hear...
Start doing your death save.
All right. We leave our party with Ben and Llew sleeping in the Slippery Fish Tavern, and
why is my bed so slippery?
Both Raven and Krohl are sleeping in the tavern, unknown to each other.